Hey, me.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Very good. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was my own mismanagement of also booking micro needling for today. Well, not that I actually booked it. I'm actually working with this brand, and
No.
later on, like, but I have to also show up on camera today.
Well, you look very fresh.
Oh, thank you.
Very fresh.
Thanks.
Amazing. So we'll just dive straight in if that's good for you. I've just got a couple of questions to ask you.
Sure, let's go ahead.
Amazing. So I thought it'd be good just to start by just telling us a little bit about you, a bit about what you do, and what was it that got you connected with Charlie?
So I'm in the health and wellness industry, specifically working in women's health. And I actually got connected to Charlie, not even really thinking that I needed a Charlie in my life. What happened was I was connected with someone else within another business, and I was looking for some appointment setters. And the guy Jackson that was in there actually like really took keen interest in helping me find the right setter, and we had a little bit of back and forth conversation about what's going on in my business. And I mentioned that I actually needed someone for operations. That's what I'm actually needing. And after some time, he reached out to me. He's like, hey, like I actually have this friend, Charlie. He's incredible. And he actually works with people in similar industries like what you do. And he's always looking for someone to collaborate with. And then he just connected us and we got on a conversation. And I remember after even like initially to get to meet up with Charlie, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I actually need this conversation right now. Like, even I was like, I don't even know how this is going to align. I was just like, oh, but I already committed, so let me do it.
Mhm.
And with that first call and conversation, I was just absolutely blown away. Like, blown away was the feeling. Like, I walked away from that call thinking, wow, the way that I am feeling right now. I want that in my business. Like I actually want my clients to step away feeling like the way that I feel right now. And yeah, that was it basically. I called Charlie back. I was like, hey, like I want to work with you. Like I don't know how, but I really want to work with you. Like I was really just that interested in the energy that he carried within from that first conversation.
Wow. I love that. And you kind of answer my next question, but maybe if you could just dive into it a little bit deeper. My next question was going to be was once you did connect with him, what was that thing that drew you towards like, yeah, I want to work with Charlie. I want to work with wisdom culture. Like, of course, you had a feeling after that first meeting, but would you say there was anything specific that really drew you towards like collaborating?
I think being in the space of coaching and the online business, I get approached by so many people wanting to work with me or trying to sell their service and trying to just like push something onto me and like very markety and very scripted and something that you can see, like they have this urgency.
Mm.
Whereas when I had this conversation with Charlie, he was really interested, that he really took time to learn more about who I am and listening so deeply, like, and really listening, because listening can be one thing. Like, people can hear you, but do they really listen?
Mm.
Where that's one part where I really felt like Charlie was listening to whatever I had to say. And at the time, I was working with a different coach and also an amazing coach, which helped me a lot. But there was a time where I thought that I don't feel like this person is listening to me. There's something that I'm expressing that I want, that I need, but they would just compose their own ideas onto it. And that started frustrating me quite a lot. And with Charlie, within just that first conversation, without even like working together, with that feeling that I felt heard, I felt seen, that was something that just like the feeling stayed alive even after the conversation, where having a conversation with Charlie just felt so raw and authentic, so real. And a part of my belief system is that, but that's what business should be like, without all of the facades and like the mask that everybody puts on because they think this is the way to do business. So when I had this conversation with Charlie, it was almost like a moment like, oh, I'm not crazy. Like I'm not crazy for feeling this or thinking this way and just like who I am and just, wanting to still stay authentic. And I think that's what it is. Like Charlie's authenticity, he's unlike anyone that I've met within the space. And very clearly that showed within the first conversation.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And energy doesn't lie. I think when you get a feeling and you can actually feel something inside, sometimes you can't even put it into words and sometimes you don't even understand it. But if you can feel it, it's like, I can just feel it. I just know
Yeah.
inside.
And there was definitely also for myself was almost like a spiritual connection to it because I was praying for someone like Charlie. Like I was praying for, help in operations, in systems. Like all I really needed in my business was systems to create a better flow. And Charlie kind of coming into my life without me like actively seeking, not really like seeking somewhere else for it. I mean, like I was interviewing setters, and then this person connected me to Charlie. I've never heard about him, never seen anything about him. So the fact that it was also such a personal connection, it was as if it was meant to be, because like internally it was something that I really wanted and needed. And I was looking for that. And the way that he thought, the way that he sees life, the way that he's just like spiritually connected, everything just came into such a beautiful alignment where it was just, yeah, that's it. Like it was alignment.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so this question, everyone asks, what does Charlie do? What is wisdom culture? What would you say?
Wow. What is wisdom culture? Wisdom culture is literally it's a culture. It's not just a business or a system or something that just, like a cookie cutter thing that you're just pasting into your business. I feel like wisdom culture has a lot to do with deepening your own personal relationship to what is it that you're here to do. Charlie really has a way of asking questions. He's really good at asking really good questions. And I think in our life, we don't oftentimes have people that ask us really good questions that makes us think. And thinking then in the end of the day allows you to explore things, deepen your knowledge, and from that also gain more wisdom. And I think definitely like Charlie carries that message of the entire, like his entire belief is so ingrained in wisdom culture that he lives it. I almost want to say that wisdom culture is Charlie.
Mm,
It's just the human that he is, it's the soul that he carries that is just so intentional, so pure, and truly stays in line with his mission and his purpose, which truly is to like help people grow within their space of business. But actually, what he does is like he helps a person grow, which then helps the business grow.
mm. Yeah, it's so true. It's difficult to put into words like exactly what is wisdom culture, what does Charlie do, but hearing like specifically in this situation your explanation of it from your experience, it's like it just feels so right.
Yeah, I also see it like wisdom culture as a hub for connection.
Mm,
The way that Charlie, like, he's also a connector. He connects people. He's very big on that. And I think that in itself already speaks a lot because if you're someone that connects something with others, I think that is some of the most valuable people that we can have in life, which just shows that there is this loop of energy that just keeps flowing. So I would say like wisdom culture is also like a connection hub.
yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, and then quite often I'm sure you've heard it and I hear it lots with Charlie saying that what he offers, there's like nothing else like it. And he's not like any other coach and things like that. From what you've experienced with him, what would you add to that? How would you sort of describe that? Obviously, you've worked with other coaches, you're in the business space. What would you add to that?
If I think about Charlie specifically, like I don't even know if I can classify him as just a coach. It's he really is good at business. Like he really understands systems. And I think even like being in the health and wellness space, health and wellness, yes, you can do great things and you can help people, but building a business is something completely different. And for myself, having to understand more about what is business and what does that look like, it isn't just helping someone and collecting money. Like there's processes and systems that go into that. And with that processes and symptoms, like processes and all of the extra added things that go into that with the systems is that there's a thought process behind it. And working with someone like Charlie, he literally has those inputs, the thoughts that you need for the systems. It's not just trying to figure out the system. He gives you the real intention behind it. Why are we creating this flow? Where is this flow going? Where's the flow coming from? Where do we want to take it? And it's almost, if I think about like water, that, if water's flowing, it can just like go into the ground and it can just go everywhere. But what if you want to direct it to a certain place to collect all of the water that's flowing? And I feel like Charlie's really good at creating those river banks to move the flow and make sure that it stays moving, that he's actually capturing all of that it doesn't go lost, and that you know exactly where it's flowing to. And that's how systems also really work within the business. And I think that he's absolutely talented in that, in simplifying very complicated things, and already saying, like, taking something very complicated and simplifying it already shows you that that in itself is also wisdom, because how much did he actually have to go through and learn to be able to make something so simplified? So for someone that's trying to still figure things out, yes, you can take your time and do that. It's probably going to take you years. But working with someone like Charlie, it's going to quickly add years to your life, because you're just going to be able to do so much more in a shorter amount of time, because he has that capacity to already do that for you.
Yeah. Speeds it up a little bit. You could sit there and go through it yourself, but you can also have a Charlie to be able to guide you through it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely choose the second option.
So you obviously, when you first connected with Charlie, like you said, you were looking for setters and thought about operations and all this stuff that you thought that you might have needed in your business. So what was it that you thought Charlie was there to do? And then what was it that actually happened?
So initially, like I mentioned, my coach previously told me that before I should even think about getting a setter, I actually need someone in operations, which was then what I expressed to Jackson. And Jack's like, like, I've got this friend, Charlie. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, let me get to know him. Like, it's probably operations. And even at the time, like if someone spoke to me about like operations manager, I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Right. Anyway, so I had a conversation with Charlie where he kind of explains like that he can take over an entire sales department, which means helping me train my setter, set all those things up. But it literally came down to so much more than that, because Charlie really helped me to, I almost want to say, get rid of the shadow that was just like covering my mind about what other coaches and people were telling me about what it should be, even though I had an inward feeling that, but can it not be this way, which is more authentic, which is just more real and true to me? And Charlie instantly spoke to that part of myself. Whereas almost working with him, it's as if I have a reminder that that is okay, and that that is actually the magic. And in the end of the day, like he really did help me so much with systems and finding, like I said, like that flow within my business. Like, where is it going? Where is it coming from? How can we create a system to actually navigate that with some integrations, which ended up being so much more simplified. I thought I needed more, and I ended up needing a lot less. And in the end, it was such a great, like, almost like a remembrance again of who I truly am. And Charlie is just like exceptionally good, like I said, with asking these deep questions, but he asks them so intentionally to lead you to that place where you can feel empowered, trust in yourself, believe in your abilities, and cut out all the bullshit. Where I really find that working with Joy, like he was a friend, a brother, a psychologist, a success manager, a coach, like operations manager, everything all in one.
Yeah. And would you say that that was for the better?
Definitely. Like compared to the stress levels that I had before and where I'm at right now, like it's such a big difference. I feel like there's so much less noise in my head. And I think that's what most of us in this space sometimes struggle with is because there's so much information out there and you got to do it this way and this way. And I really got to learn that your business is something that's very personal. And if you can actually create it according to like yourself and who you are, your personality, and what's also going to suit your life. Like you get to create your business around that. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And that was something that I really found with wisdom culture was that I can create a business around myself instead of trying to put someone else's idea on top of my business and then create a business from that, which just shows me why I felt so disconnected in the first place to it. Whereas now I have so much more peace. I have a lot more clarity. Systems are a lot more simplified. And I almost feel protected in a way that now that I know this very early on in my business of also like building out, I'm so grateful that I get to have this right now instead of working with more people, which would just almost taint that vision that I have and just come and put their own ideas onto it and just kind of mess up that beautiful picture. Whereas Charlie was like, no, no, we got to protect this. Like, we got to, keep these things out and we got to nurture this and make sure that this vision is the one that actually starts blooming and, comes alive. And that's what I would say like was something that was really important as well with working with wisdom culture and the difference from where I was before and to where I am right now. Like I've worked with quite a few coaches and I've never had this amount of peace and progress at the same time.
Yeah, wow. Peace and progress. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then as you move forward with everything that you're doing, would you say that there's any specific part, I guess, a part or teachings from Charlie, from Wisdom Culture that will help you, will be staying with you?
There are so many. Like if I have to think about if I have to think about them, like there's so many that's just like integrated right now, specifically the mindset that he gave me around like money mindset on earning and not just like making money, but what it means about like earning money. And that in itself was a major shift for me mentally that I think, like I told this to him, like that shift literally changed the trajectory of my life for the way that I now have a better intention behind everything. It's not about just like, oh, but this is my worth and this is what I got to put out there. It's like, wow, just that one conversation that we had around it where he just broke it down so beautifully. Everything inside of my mind just changed. It's like a new neural pathway that's been created and it's still a new world that I'm exploring up until from that conversation. So that's one that really stood out to me greatly. And I feel that is sometimes like in a world again within like entrepreneurship, like sometimes you can be so captivated by just, making money and you need to see that you have this increase and, business is doing good. But business doesn't really just relate to like the income that you're getting. Sometimes, yes, you're going to have lower months, but how much work did you do inside of your business where processes are smoother? Like
Mm.
how you are feeling as a business owner. Because sometimes you can make more money and feel more stressed, right? And who says that that is good? So putting that value towards that money, like that was just such a big shift for me, honestly, within one of the conversations that we had. And then we've had many other countless conversations where it was just, again, almost like that reaffirming of getting back closer to who I am as a person without allowing all of this preconceptualized ideas that are just like kind of going around in the space that really stopped me from also showing up better and more authentically. Like Charlie was really able to encourage me in a way, not push me, but empower me to show up better. Whereas I already had this resistance towards showing up because I was so confused and I was just like overwhelmed and didn't really know which way to go. Where the more I was just having conversations with him, I felt inspired to move. I felt inspired to do something because it was coming from within. It wasn't something that was coming from without, trying to tell me what to do. It was this new belief, self-belief that I was able to cultivate again because I had someone in my corner that was like, you go, girl, like you got this. Like your ideas, like
Yeah.
it's so good. Like it's so good that you're doing this. Where Charlie actually made me realize like I don't need as much as I think that I need.
Mm.
And I think that is always like that shiny object syndrome. And I think it also happens to a lot of entrepreneurs like you're like, okay, but I need this thing and I need to do that. And my business is going to grow if I do this thing. Maybe you don't need
Mm.
that. Maybe people are just telling you that you need that because everybody here is trying to sell their services.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's another big part. And I think also another thing, like I said, there's quite a few things.
Mhm.
With the no pressure, the closed system,
Yeah.
that was exactly the feeling that I felt with the first time that I got in a conversation with Charlie. And I
Mm.
was like, wow, I want to have this feeling within my business. How can I cultivate that? I want to be able to cultivate that. And learning that part from Charlie, I think, has been the greatest asset that I now get to implement into my business.
Mm. I love that. That is amazing. And just finally, is there anything else that you want to share? Anything you want to add, share, express, anything at all?
I would say that, working with Charlie is something within this specific space that you don't see a lot of, but being filled with so much love. Love meaning love comes with correction, direction, honesty, courage, tenacity, wit, and humor, and all of it. And I experienced that. Like I didn't feel like just another person that he has to do his job. I really felt loved and cared for. His way of communicating, always checking in, was that's actually another thing that I didn't mention, but that was also a big part, like his way to communicate. That within wisdom culture, I actually really felt loved, felt appreciated. And that is also something that's so uncommon in the space. And I've said it before, but finding Charlie is like finding a unicorn.
Mm.
It literally is so rare. If you even get to see one, it's a damn miracle. So it was honestly for me, it's just been such a miraculous experience. And now I always know who to call when I get to that next river or to that next wave. It's like, hey, wisdom culture, guys, I need you. This is where I'm at. We got some stuff to build. And that's where it's at. So it's been magical, like truly majestical. If you think about unicorns, it's majestical. And that's how I explain it, which might sound super over dramatic for a person like myself, just like very simple. But yeah, wow, like I was blown away, honestly.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, I love to hear it. Obviously, from the background, I'm always witnessing what's happening and the calls and the teachings and everything else that's experienced. So to actually get to connect with you and hear your experience and from your firsthand what you've gone through and the realizations that you've had, it's yeah, it's really beautiful. And I'm really excited to see where things go for you from here.
Thank you so much, Amy. And I think also like you also come as part of the package with wisdom culture.
Mm.
Wisdom culture wouldn't also be who it is without Amy. And to have both of you be there to support, it's just like I love the dynamic. I love that duo, as two partners supporting one another together and then supporting someone else. It really showed me so much of like the strength when you have two people working together towards something. And that's also been quite inspirational to me. So thank you for you as well for what you have done and just your check-ins and staying up to date and always being there to just like assist and helping. It's really been so amazing working with you as well.
Yeah, I love it. I really appreciate your words because it's what we love to do. Wherever, every dynamic's slightly different, but love to serve, love to love to be able to just be able to support and guide and welcome in. And yeah, I look forward to when we get in the physical presence of each other and seeing what happens
Thank
then. But yeah, I really appreciate your time today. And yeah, super grateful. You know where we are, always, you know where we are. And keep smashing it, keep doing amazing things.
thank you so much, Amy. I really love you guys so much.
Love you too. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, you too,
Speak to you
Amy.
soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.